You're on. Matt, welcome, Matt, to Binary Option Signals. Go right ahead.
Thank you, MT. It's glad to be here. First of all, I wanted to say that I really appreciate you sharing these signals with us, and I've gotten a lot out of it, and I'm learning a lot every day. And, you know, these signals are probably the best thing I've ever seen, and they work better than any indicator you can find out there for Forex. So today I wanted to talk to everyone.
But hold on, sorry if I'm interrupting.
Sure.
That. Tell us a little bit about yourself, okay? What you do, how long you've been trading Forex, and how long
Sure.
you've been in the room, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
So I've been trading Forex about 6 years off and on. And my real job, I'm a real estate developer, and I spend my time developing real estate projects in and around Texas. I'm also a licensed architect, and so that's how I got into real estate. And I use that as a platform to get into real estate development eventually. And that's my craft. Along the way, I started to realize that, you know, I've got to have something else to do with my money. And I have some acquaintances who do trading, and you know, they made quite a bit of money doing it. So we started looking at it closely, and I decided it was something I wanted to do as part of my bigger strategy with my business. So that's how I got into it and what got me interested in it. So that's kind of the 30,000 foot view of me. So I'm here in the U.S., in Texas, and I'm here in this room almost every day unless something happens and I can't be here. So I wanted to talk about things not to do in trading, as I mentioned earlier. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to stop me, and we'll try to go through these. So in the spirit of a David Letterman type top 10, number 10, not listening to MT in the room will cause you more grief than you can imagine, because it takes a while to understand the signals and pay attention, and you know, you'll start to pick it up. But if you don't listen, and you spend all your time talking, you're not going to move forward on it as quickly. Number 9, not mind setting and doing the EFT. You know, if you don't believe that it works and you're against trying it, I can tell you right now that I had that mindset, and I started trying it, and things started changing, and I started working at the mind setting harder, and every day I noticed that things change even more. So I think it's very important that you do the mind setting. I have a friend that does mind setting a lot, and she was telling me that not only is the mind setting important, but how you do the mind setting. So one of the secrets I want to share about mind setting is when you're doing the mind setting, you have to visualize yourself in the room or in the scenario you're thinking about. You cannot visualize through your mind's eye as if you're seeing it. You need to see yourself in that position. And as I started to change my mind setting to that, I started to notice even bigger changes. So I think it's important that everybody understand that it's not just you imagining that you're looking at your computer screen. It's you imagining that you're seeing yourself looking at your computer screen, and having positive results. That's a subtle difference in mind setting that I didn't get for a while, and now I do, and I think it makes a big difference. So I would encourage you to try that. Number 8, jumping into a trade too quickly. I was very guilty, and I'm still guilty of it today sometimes, of getting in the room, not looking at the long-term charts close enough, not spending some time watching the 15 and the 5 in the 1 hour chart and really getting my story straight. And so every time I've not done that and I get into a trade, I get myself in a position that I usually lose on. And so I try to be very careful not to do that anymore. And one of the things I want to point out is I was in the room for a long time, and I didn't realize how powerful the 1 minute and the 1 hour and the 4 hour charts are. I spend more time looking at them now for developing my story and determining the trend than I used to. I was focused on the 5 minute chart and the 1 minute chart. And that's not where you need to be starting out your day. You should be starting over on the right hand side of the screen, trying to figure that out. Because if you don't, you'll end up, as Mansa's saying, you'll end up chasing a lot of trades. And I've done that repeatedly. And you can blow up your account quickly doing that. So I would advise that you try to do that if you're not doing it already. Number 7, not knowing your trading limits. You need to know how much you can afford to trade or wager on any particular trade. If you're going to stack trades, you need to know how you can stack those. So if you're starting out and you're just getting into this, you need to spend some time understanding how much you need to place in a trade in order to protect yourself. Some of you will do 5%, some will do 2%. I think it's just a personal preference. I don't think you ever want to do more than 10% of your account. And 5 is a safe bet. Number 6, forgetting to set a stop loss or just not setting it at all. I've been guilty of that, and it actually has bitten me more times than I can imagine. I trade with MetaTrader a lot, and MetaTrader is not as easy to set a stop loss because you have to manually do it. I know a lot of you are using CTrader, and it can do it automatically. And if you are using CTrader, I encourage you to set up a stop loss that you're comfortable with and try to make that happen. Because it will protect you in the instance that the market just goes nuts and decides to do something none of us was expecting. And that does happen. Number 5, not understanding the strategies. We have quite a few strategies in the room, and they're all great strategies for specific situations, and you have to be watching for those situations. If you're new to the room, when I started out, I chose the Batman strategy, and I focused on that strategy only until I had perfected it. And then as I started to get very familiar with the Batman strategy, I started learning the Tony D. And then I moved over to the Natalia, and several others. And now I'm familiar with all of them, and I find that I use any of them or a combination of them throughout the day. So I highly encourage you to review and re-review the strategies. It makes a big difference if you know them inside and out. Number 4, trading overnight, trading unattended, and trading distracted trades. I've tried all of these. I've tried trading at night. The markets are really slow except for certain times. I'm like MT. I don't want to get up at 3 in the morning to trade, although I have done it once or twice to see what it's like. But the market moves slower, and it's like watching paint dry a lot of times, and so it's not a lot of fun. Unattended trades. Setting a trade, saying, I'll get up in the morning and see where it goes. Well, I would only recommend you do that on a demo account if you want to try it out, because anything can happen in the middle of the night if you're not watching the trade.
Or having a stop loss, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Like if
With
you're
a
going
stop
to do
loss,
anything like that,
stop-
make sure you have a stop loss, because I've got caught, you know, waking up and I'm either up or down big. So guys, listen, you know, I think that's such a smart point. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, unattended trades are, you know, the same thing. You need a stop loss. If you're going to do unattended, you need a stop loss and you need to set a take profit. Distracted trades, if people are in the room with you and they're distracting you from trading while you're here in the session, you need to either stop or figure out how to remove the distraction, because that's a very quick way to get yourself in a bad position if you're not watching. Or and I've done this. I'm guilty of this. I take my kids to school in the morning right when the session starts, and you know, sometimes I come back to the house and my wife's trying to talk to me, and it causes problems. So I just recommend that, you know, it's part of life's part of life, but just things to watch out for. Number 3, not demoing enough. I demo a lot. I try a lot of things on demo. Protecting my principal and the money that I put in initially and making it grow is very important to me. And so I demo an incredible amount. And I'm always trying new things just to see if I can find a better way for me. So I highly recommend that if you're new, you need to demo a lot. And until you've perfected some of the strategies and you can really get confident. So that's my advice there. Number 2, getting frustrated. I can't tell you how many times I've been frustrated because I lost a trade or things weren't moved. I was out of sync with the market and making an even worse trade from that. So when you get frustrated, you need to back up and try to take a break, maybe do a little mind setting for 5 minutes, and then maybe get your head back in the game and see if you can make things work out from any losses you might have sustained, or you know, if you're just not having a good day. And then my number 1 thing to do, I'm going to reverse it here, is to make sure you have some fun once a week somehow. I don't know what that is. For me, MT's got a picture of something I do that has fun. We have fun with. So MT, if you'll put the picture up.
It's there. You see it? I know. Pardon?
Go ahead, MT.
Yeah, it's there. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning, Matt, I think you can sense the humbleness, right? Now, he won't tell you, but I will. But you see, you know, like this machine here, exactly, it's the crypto tank, okay? You know the one they used in Billions, Neon? He owns this. He owns part of this company, and Billions, the TV show Billions, actually used his machine. So he owns this stuff. Okay, so this is where I get humbled when people like Matt Bullz come here and they're listening and watching me kind of thing, teaching them how this is done. You know, where I'm mind blown. I'm totally humbled, man. You know. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
And that's okay. Thank you, MT. This machine is the real machine. The machine you saw on the show was just a prop. It didn't actually operate. And you'll notice I don't have a mask on my face. It's not really necessary. That was something with the actor who didn't want to be associated with the product because we weren't paying him to. So, you know, some of the silliness you go through with TV and movies. But that is the machine. It really works. It's not, it was fog on TV, yes. This is real. That's real nitrous oxide there. So,
how much is this machine, Matt? If some of us want to purchase it,
this machine retails for $60,000.
All right, guys, $60,000.
And if you wanted one, I could probably get you a discount.
All right.
So anyway, MT, I want.
Okay, Matt, I've got a few questions. Okay,
Sure.
First of all, I want to thank you for taking your time. So you've told us of what not to do. Okay. Now, of course, for you to have built those set of rules, it's of course you know through trial and error you've made your mistakes, right? But now ever since you've made your mistakes and you've built those rules, how successful are you in this room?
I'm very successful. I'm getting better and better. I'm not as successful as I want to be, but that's probably just me. I'm an overachiever, and I want to be. I'm a perfectionist.
But you were telling me yesterday that you win 90% of your trades, right? Did I hear you right?
I would say I win 90% of my trades.
In this room.
It's the occasional one or two bad trades that just kick my butt, and a lot of that has to do with I'm over patient at times, and I think the market's going to come back, and it doesn't come back, and I get into trouble. And I run big stop losses because the market can fluctuate quite a bit, and sometimes that gets me in trouble. And sometimes I'm not running a stop loss when I should be. So that's my own fault. I break my own rule, and I try not to do that. But yes, I'm doing very well in here, and my trading has improved immensely since I came to this room.
Fantastic. Anyone have any questions for Matt? Matt Bullz? Anyone? All right. So
Max asking stop loss level.
Okay.
I usually have it set to 50.
50.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a take profit, or do you have a
that's a good
trailer?
point.
Okay, go ahead.
Take profit. I follow Batman's rule. Take profit. I try to do 10, and with the trend, and 5 against the trend. That's kind of I follow his rule, and it works well. I have noticed, however, that a lot of times, if you're just shoot at 5 to 6 pips on any trade, you're going to have a good day. It doesn't take a lot. And sometimes waiting to get 10 pips can cause you to lose all your pips. So getting some is better than none.
Why so high, Neon says? So high in what sense, Neon? What
Well, because I see
50.
the market move around a lot, and sometimes I set it at 20, sometimes I set it at 50. It depends on what the charts are doing. I try to look at the charts just like Jazz does, and I look at where the peaks and valleys are over the past couple hours, and then I try to gauge, well, how far could it really run before it comes back the other way? This is part of me trying to manage my trades so that, again, I protect my principal. It doesn't always work for me. Sometimes it's better to just take the loss and move on, because you can make back 3 times that while you're losing that one trade. So, I think that's something that every trader has to figure out, where they're comfortable and use that. Yeah, 2 is too low.
Well, because, most of the time 2 is your spread. All right, so 2, you can't have a take profit of 2, because I don't think it makes any sense.
I think Neon was saying that a stop loss at 2 is too low.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying also. A stop loss of 2, as soon as you're taking the trade, you're down maybe a pip or 2 because of the spread. So you cannot have a spread of 2. You'll always lose.
Right. Mac is asking my average trade length, 5 to 30 minutes, and most of the time within 5 to 10 minutes I've racked up 5 pips, especially if you're on a trade, especially if you're trading the morning session. We usually have lots of momentum and the candles move up and down nicely. You know, one of the things I was saying about not trading overnight is, as I was telling MT this yesterday, I'm also play some music, and when I was younger as a musician, one of the things they would teach us to do is slow down music, to learn to play it well. So I applied the same strategy to trading. So I traded some at night on a demo account, when the candles move a lot slower, so I could try to understand what was going on. And that was helpful for me, and it might be helpful for some of you if you want to try it, but I wouldn't recommend trying your real account on that. I would just test things. Because the candles do move pretty fast in the morning, and it takes some time to get used to that. Any other questions?
Any last questions? 11:30 is here. That was great, Mad. I really appreciate this. We all, of course, appreciate this. We want to thank you for being here. We want to thank you for the way you see things. You know, coming from a very successful person, guys. You know, here's someone that's an entrepreneur. Doesn't really need this, but he loves doing this because it's, you know, if George Soros could do it, why can't we? You know, $1 billion a day is our goal, right, Mad?
That's right.
$1 billion in 1 day.
I do not stack. I can't do it. I don't know. It's not in my mindset. But I applaud you guys that can do that, because I just can't do it. MT, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be here. I'm humbled by this. I don't think I'm the best guy in the room. The best guy, one of my favorite best guys, is not here with us right now, but he'll be back. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, man. So we'll catch you later. Thank you so much. Here on Friday, April 22nd, we had the Mad Bullz interview.